right, Barakatah Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rucha Kodash.
All right,
Welcome
brother.
to another live lesson. The name of this one is a response to Who Are the Edomites per Bible / history. This is a video that Vocab Malone is doing right now, and someone just sent it to me. They sent me a picture of this earlier, that he was going to do this presentation, I guess you could call it. And I didn't watch, all of it. I just caught some of it and decided just to do um, a quick little video on it, pursuant to mainly the one point that he was bringing out in the book of Mark, chapter 3. That's, I guess that's supposed to be his ace in the hole, Idumea, 2 Greeks, Romans, and then he went to Mark 3 and 8, which when you go to Mark 3 and 8, right, he thinks this is saying that you had Edomites that came and followed, the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, which that's not the case. So let's get some understanding. Mark 3 and 7. But Yahushai withdrew himself with his disciples to the sea, and a great multitude from Galilee followed him, and from Judea, and from Jerusalem, and from Idumea. So you had a multitude that came from Idumea. They came from Jerusalem, they came from Galilee, they came from Judea, Jerusalem, Idumea, and from beyond Jordan. And they about Tyre and Sidon a great multitude, when they had heard what great things he did, came unto him. Right. So this is pretty much dealing with Israelites that are scattered in these different, regions, and the reason why they were scattered pursuant to Bible prophecy, you would have the Israelites that would be scattered throughout the 4 corners of the earth because they, broke the law, statutes, and commandments of the Lord. And that was one of the requirements. If you break it, then this is one of the curses that's going to come upon you. And that's why they were coming from these different places. And that's why also, real quick, in the book of James, the 1st chapter, in the 1st verse, it says, James, a servant of the Most High and of the Lord Yahweh Shai Mashiach, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad. Greetings. So the 12 tribes are scattered, dispersed. So they were everywhere. That's why when you come into Acts, the 2nd chapter and the 5th verse, and they were dwelling at Jerusalem, Jews, devout men out of every nation under heaven. Why? Because you had Israelites that were scattered all throughout. And especially during the time of the Passover, during the time of the Feast of First Fruits, and during the time of the Feast of Tabernacles, they would come from whatever region they were in and come to Jerusalem. And some of them were already in the area, and they would come to see the Lord. And some of them would just come once a year, 3 times in the year, once 3 times in the year, every year, to keep the feast of Passover, the feast of what they call the New Testament calls Pentecost, which is Feast of First Fruits, and also the Feast of Tabernacles. Okay, and that was pursuant to the law. Deuteronomy 16 and 16. It says, 3 times in a year shall thy males appear before the Lord, thy power, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, in the place which he shall choose, in the feast of unleavened bread, and in the feast of weeks, and in the feast of tabernacles, and they shall not appear before the Lord empty. And that's why they would go there. Now, in the case of Mark, the 3rd chapter, these were just individuals that were hearing the Lord speak, and they were Israelites scattered that were, being joined to the ministry, because these were the dispersed that were to follow the Lord, when he was on the scene, because there was a certain amount of Israelites that were given to him as the elect to follow him. All right. Now, why did they come from Idumea? Because Idumea, when you look it up, it is dealing with Edom. All right. But it's dealing with the land of Edom. It's not talking about the Edomites. Idumea, which goes back to the word, doesn't go back to the word Adama. It goes back to the word Adawam. There's a distinction there. Idumea, the name of the region between southern Palestine and the Arabian Petraea, inhabited by Edom or Esau and his posterity. But in this case, this is dealing with the land itself. But you didn't just have Edomites living in the land of Idumea. All right, and I'm going to show you that. Jeremiah chapter 40, verse 10, as for me, behold, I will dwell at Mizpah to serve the Chaldeans, which will come unto us. But ye gather ye wine and summer fruits and oil, and put them in your vessels, and dwell in your cities that you have taken. Likewise, when all the Jews, key point, the Jews that were what? In Moab, the land of Moab, and all the Jews that were among the Ammonites, in the land of the Ammonites, and among the people of the Ammon, the Jews, and in Edom. So you had Jews, Israelites that were in the land of Edom, the land of Ammon, the land of Moab. All right, because they migrated down there, because the prophecy stated that we would be dispersed among all nations, and that's why they were coming to see the Lord. Now, some cases they were coming to keep the Passover, the Feast of First Fruits, and the Feast of Tabernacles, but in that particular case, they were just coming to see the Lord, and they were gathered to him because they were a part of the number that the Heavenly Father Yahweh gave to Yahushai. It says, and left a remnant of Judah. See, I'm sorry. And let's read this again. Likewise, when all the Jews which were in Moab and among the Ammonites and in Edom, Jews, Israelites, and that were in all the countries, heard that the king of Babylon had left the remnant of Judah, and that he had set over them Gedaliah, the son of Ahiakam, the son of Shaphan, even all the Jews returned out of all places whither they were driven, and came to the land of Judah, to Gedaliah unto Mizpah, and gathered wine and summer fruits very much. Yeah, because you had Israelites everywhere, and even during the time of the Lord, there was a scattering. You had what the New Testament calls the Gentiles or the Greeks, which were Israelites scattered all over the place. And there was a good portion of them that were taken in the Greek Empire. All right. Now, when we go back to First Chronicles chapter 4, verse 42, and some of them, even of the sons of Simeon, 500 men went to Mount Seir, having for their captains Pelatiah and Neriah and Raphiah and Uzziel the son of Ishi. So they went to where? Mount Seir, and they smote the rest of the Amalekites, the Edomites that were escaped, and dwelt there unto this day. Where? Mount Seir, in the land of Esau, land of Edom. All right, and that's what this is talking about in Mark, the 3rd chapter. The Israelites that were scattered in Idumea, or that were scattered in Edom. Okay, that's what this is talking about. And they were, by that time, that's why, once again, the Apostle James said that you had Israelites that were scattered throughout the 4 corners of the earth. Let's go real quick again to that. James chapter 1 and 1. James, a servant of the Most High and of the Lord Yahushua, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greeting. All right. So right now, Vocab is doing a premiere, and this is what he's trying to say. He's trying to use Mark, the 3rd chapter, to say that that the Edomites, a large following of the Edomites followed the Lord. No, that's not the case. People that were in the land of Edom, that were Israelites, were coming to the Lord. Diaspora, a scattering, dispersion of Israelites dispersed among foreign nations. Of the Christians scattered abroad among the Gentiles. You had Israelites scattered among the actual nations that were being brought back. All right. And some of them were being called Gentiles, and some of them knew that they were Jews. Some of them spoke the Greek language, but kept the customs of Israel. And some of them just lost everything. You can go and read First Maccabees, the 1st chapter, and it gives you a very good history of what took place in that time and why they were Hellenized and why they were being called Greeks. That's why the Apostle Paul said there's no difference between the Jew and the Greek. Why? Because they're all Israelites. It's just that one was speaking Hebrew and the other one was speaking Greek. And that's that. So who are Edomites per Bible and history? These are Israelites. These are Edomites, the so-called white man. But you had Israelites that were in that land. And that's what Mark, the 3rd chapter, is about. When they had the multitude that came from the land of Idumea to serve the Lord, Yahushua. Okay? That's when you go back to the book of Mark, the 3rd chapter and the 8th verse. So with that, I pray that you brothers and sisters have been edified. To the next time I say, Shalom.